Hello again guys, today I thought we'd take a quick look at this little device. This is the Guardzilla all-in-one video security camera. This is a 640 by 480 video camera. It comes with Wi-Fi on it, and it supports geofencing, which is very handy. But before we get started, I should go ahead and mention, Guardzilla did send me this product for free to review, and they also compensated me for providing my opinion here. Just thought you ought to know that. But let's dive on into the box. In this box, you're gonna find the Guardzilla itself, a protection sticker, setup guide, an extra smaller foam foot in case it doesn't sit right on your table, and a power brick. As far as the camera itself, on the front you're going to see that wide angle lens with its night vision IR LEDs all around it. On the back you're going to find the speaker, a QR code and some login information, as well as the place to put the power connector. And on the side you have the micro SD card slot. As far as the setup of the camera, basically you plug it in and you wait for it to be ready to go. Make sure you've got the app installed on your phone. It is available for both Android and iOS. I've only spent time with the Android version. The first time you run the app, it's going to ask you if it's the first time you're running it or if you're connecting an additional phone. So if you want to do this on another device later, you can definitely do that. I've installed it on several of my Android devices now. You have to make sure on your device to connect to the Wi-Fi on the camera, at least for the first time setup. Then you create an account and you provide a decent amount of information there. I was kind of surprised to see when you put the password in there, it shows it in plain text by default, but you can always check the little box at the bottom for it not to do that. You give it some Wi-Fi credentials. Again, it shows your password in plain text there, which is a bit of a weird one. And after that point, you should receive a setup confirmation email and text message just to let you know that all of the notifications are working. After that, it suggests that you update the camera's password just so it's not admin, because that's the default password and not terribly secure. As far as the day-to-day usage of this app and camera, the one weird thing that I've noticed about it is when I run it on Wi-Fi, it takes about a minute and 4 seconds exactly to connect every single time. So if I close the app and reopen it after just using it, it takes another full minute to reconnect. However, if I'm doing it on LTE, it doesn't appear to take that long at all. It takes just a few seconds and it's connected and I'm able to watch what's going on. Bit of a weirdness. I'm sure it's just an app bug. Hopefully they'll fix it. I will send them an email and let them know. When you're inside the app though, you click monitor to view what's going on the camera live. You'll notice when you switch off the lights, it does automatically go into the night vision mode by default. Inside of that monitor, you also have the option to listen to what's going on at the camera, as well as speak through the camera, so you've got the mic and the speaker, as well as a camera button if you want to take stills of what's going on at the same time. There are settings inside the app to configure notifications, and you can receive notifications through email, text messages, as well as push through the app. There are automatic siren settings, so when the system is armed, if it sees any sort of movement or anything, you can have the siren go off anywhere between 5 and 120 seconds. And as I mentioned before, it does support geofencing, so when you take your phone and you leave, it automatically arms itself if you tell it to. And additionally, there are settings in there for motion sensitivity, so when it's armed, the amount of motion it takes to actually set it off. There are settings for recording quality, so you can go from low all the way up to maximum quality, which is still not extremely high quality. There are night vision settings, there are arming delays. The arming delay being when you hit the armed button, it doesn't immediately arm. You can have it do instantly or up to several minutes before it actually arms and starts sending you notifications. There's a panic button so you can automatically sound the alarm, just in case for whatever reason it doesn't go off or if you don't have it set to go off. And there's a camera list option, where if you have multiple cameras in your home, you can use that to swap between them. As far as recording from the device, all you've got to do is unplug it, put in the micro SD card, plug it back in, and wait for it to finish booting up. If you have a larger card, it may take a little while for it to initialize that card, but I've used up to 32 gig cards in it and it does work. And as far as the recordings, there are settings inside the app to go off where it doesn't record anything, continuous where it will just fill the card up and then stop, and alert only, to where when there's an alert during the armed state, it'll start recording whatever's going on. I tested it in both of those states. The continuous, I tested on a 2 gig card, and it filled it up in about 2 full days. So on a 2 gig card, that's not bad. That's telling you you've got about 1 full month if you have a 32 gig card. And then on the alert mode, of course, you're just getting what's actually important. You're just getting the alerts when they happen. Now, as far as the pros and cons, the sort of wrap up for this. One big pro for me is there are no monthly fees with this. There's no cloud storage or anything. Once you pay the full price for it, that is all you will ever pay for it. Next, it is very easy to get it set up. It took me about 5 minutes to set this up total. Also, of course, that geofencing, as well as the notifications to go along with it. So if I take my phone and leave, it will automatically arm itself. I love that. And then being able to get notifications on email, text message, or push to the phone, I am a big fan of that as well. And of course the price. It comes in at just under $100, and for a camera that is Wi-Fi connected, that's not terrible. Now the cons, the sort of downsides, it is only 640 by 480, and that's really not that big of a deal. It's 640 by 480, and I think it's 10 frames per second, so it's not going to be amazingly high quality footage.
He
You recording right now? Can you see me? Just texted me. That's good. That was quick. That was really, really quick. I'm actually really surprised with how fast that came out. But as you can see from some of the footage I've shown, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. In good lighting, it is fine. And actually it does surprisingly well in night vision as well. It's just a bit blocky and low bit rate. But as long as you're not trying to include it in a 1080p video, it's not a big deal, right? And additionally, there are some issues with the app and with connectivity. As I mentioned earlier, it takes about a full minute to connect to it over Wi-Fi. I think that's just a bug in the app. And the majority of the other reviews I've seen about this have complained about the app just being dated and being kind of hard to use. It's a bit of a weird one, I'll put it that way. It needs some work, it needs some love. But for $100, it's really not a bad option at all. It is available over on Amazon. I'll have a link down in the video description to that, but it's also available at Walmart and Target and Best Buy and a bunch of other places. So if you have a Walmart in your area, you may want to go check and see if they've got it. Because the worst case scenario, if you bought it and you didn't like it, you can always take it back. But that is gonna be about all from me for today. Thanks so much to Guardzilla for sending this out for a review, as well as for sponsoring this video. Thanks to you guys for watching. Make sure to hit that thumbs up below the video if you like this video, subscribe to receive all of my videos when they become available, and I will see you again next time.